Hi, this is Julie with Two Chicks Quilting in Ganado, Texas, here today with tips and tricks with the chicks. And I want to share today proper ways to make sure you're getting your bobbin wound right and threaded correctly on your machine to give you the best sewing experience. So the first tip I want to tell you is to make sure you are buying the correct bobbin and good quality bobbins for your machine. Every machine takes a different kind of bobbin. So you want to make sure that you are buying the brand associated with the brand of machine you own, as well as making sure that that bobbin is what the model within that brand takes. There's different models within every brand. Some bobbins are different from model to model. So make sure you're getting the correct bobbin, number one. Number two is we're going to put our bobbin on. Now I'm working on a Bernina today, and we have these cool big jumbo bobbins with Bernina. I'm working on a Bernina 435 today, but all the way up through all of the line of Bernina machines, as well as the Janome machines I'm going to show you here and other brands. What's really nice is now they have a lot of times printed on the machine the thread path to wind your bobbin and to thread your machine. So if your machine has that, your dotted line is what we're going to be following today, and your solid line is what you follow to thread your upper thread. So today we're going to fill our bobbin on this Bernina. Now with the jumbo bobbins, notice it has these little silver markings, and there's also some holes in there. This is part of the bobbin that allows your sensors to work correctly. It is made so that you cannot put it on upside down. You can only put it onto the post one way. So the next thing I'm going to do is make sure my thread is secure on my thread, on my spool holder here. And I'm going to start with my number one thread guide back here. It has a dotted line and a solid line, which that means you're going to use this thread guide for both threading ways. Next, I'm going to go to this tension disc. Now, if we can zoom in right here a little closer, I want to show you this tension disc. This is the most important part when you are winding your bobbin. It has an arrow to tell you which way you're going to go around it, which we're going to follow that arrow. And if I don't hold on to this thread and make sure that it gets pulled into that tension disc well, I'm going to get a very loose filled bobbin, which is not going to be good. So I like to hold on to my thread back here and give it just a little bit of tension. And I want to make sure that that thread pops in to that tension disc well and is all the way in there. Now, as I pull it through, I can feel a little bit of resistance. Now, my next arrow, you can see, goes this way. This is number 3. The arrow is pointing this way. What that means is I'm going to wind my thread around my bobbin, and then I'm going to start it filling. Now on this Bernina, it is filling, you can see, very consistent. It has a good flat stacking motion to it, and you are going to have a very successful filled bobbin with this one. Now, if I were working on multiple projects and filling, I would sit here and fill, or I was working on a new project with the same thread, I would sit here and fill multiple bobbins all at the same time so that I make sure I'm not having to stop and rethread and all of that. So that's another little tip. Now let's talk about putting that bobbin into our bobbin case once it's filled. So with the Bernina, again, the silver markings will not let you, this bobbin's made so it cannot be put into the bobbin case incorrectly. It can only be put in one way. Then I'm going to take my thread, turn it around right. I'm going to take my thread, it's going to go through this little slit right here, underneath that tension arm and through this little hook. You want to make sure it's popped in there good. Now we're ready to load it into our machine. We're going to pop it in horizontally. Let me move this table so maybe you guys can see a little better. I should have removed that already. We're going to pop this into our Bernina. We want to push it kind of in the middle and not right here, because this is the trigger that releases your bobbin. So you want to push it in the center. We're going to cut our thread, close the door, and that is done. That's as easy as it is on your Bernina machines. Now, if we have a drop-in bobbin, we're going to fill it in the same manner. The same type tips is going to apply to this Janome machine. You have a little tension disc here. Some machines don't have this. They have another little arm that you go through, but still hold that tension on there so that it can get in there properly. Now, if I'm ready to fill my, put my bobbin into this Janome, on the little cover here that I pop off, there is a little diagram. You want to make sure that your thread is coming off in the direction that it shows in this diagram, because it is very, very important that you put this bobbin in the right direction. If you put it in upside down, you are not going to get a good stitch quality. So I want to make sure that my bobbin is, my thread is coming off my bobbin just like it shows in this picture. I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to go under my little silver guide there and then put my cover on, and it's going to pull it up. Some of them have a little loop. We can go over here on another machine and I can show you this one. Uh-oh. The thread was still down in there. On this one, we're going to drop this in, and simply all you have to do is go under this little, it has an arrow kind of etched in it, and then through this little thread guide and cut it, and then that has your bobbin threaded. So different machines are going to have a different way to do it. Just get your manual out, make sure that you are threading it the correct way. Because if you don't put your bobbin in right, you don't fill your bobbin right, you're going to have poor quality stitches and you're going to have a lot of frustration. So if you're having issues with your machine, the first thing we always suggest is take all the thread off of it, both top and bottom, and go back and try it again. So I hope this helps, and tune in again for our next edition of Tips and Tricks. See you later. Bye.